What is going on, everybody? Lieutenant Gold here. Hope you guys are having an awesome day. Today we're going to be going over my draft for the IBL Season 8. Let's show this season some support. I know last season I did not, you know, I didn't give out to the people. I dropped the ball, to say the least. Um, yeah, just because the season was going well. I think we did go pretty well. For you that don't know, that didn't watch other content creators channel, I was able to go all the way to semifinals. So we had definitely a pretty good run for the team that we had. I felt like we had a pretty decent team, but the synergy was kind of lacking in some areas. Which is going to be completely different. This team I am super pumped about. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be more committed to this. I think I'm a little bit more invested now. I'm definitely going to come at you guys full season of the IBL. So I really want to make sure that this season goes well support wise. The BBR's videos has been going great. Support on that has been amazing, so I definitely want to keep the hype going, make sure that this also gets a good amount of love and stuff like that. Same with for me, as well as all of the other coaches, which are going to be listed down below. We have about half a roster new, give or take. I was able to kind of pitch in and help out Brennan, which is the commissioner, which I am very grateful for bringing me into the season once again. Yeah, we were able to bring a couple new coaches in there. Things like Hagbones, which I've known for a while now, to Eco Living Planet, which I actually don't know if that's his internet name. I believe it is. But yeah, a whole bunch of new coaches we're going to be able to play, which we actually are in our schedule. So for this season, so super duper excited. Hope you guys are as well. Make sure to like and sub so that way we can keep this hype going. So going over the draft and how everything works out. So it's gonna be similar, if not the same as the last season. I believe it's the same. Where we're gonna be drafting 10 Pokemon plus a Gmax. The Gmax, there's no limitation. We don't have to hold a specific item or anything like that. I think we just said no scarf, I believe. I might be wrong though. I think I am wrong. But yeah, very limited limitation, if any. But yeah, it's gonna be just a simple tiered draft. We were throwing ideas, making a 10 tiered to making potentially points, but we stuck with the 5 tier, just a standard draft format. But yeah, since we did so well last season, my alarm is going off. What the heck? Since we did so well last season, we are going to be all the way at the bottom to 13th out of 16th. So you know, a little bit more in the middle than like, as always, you know, your boy never gets good spot in drafts, but we do with what we have, and I do feel like this team is going to be pretty fun. I'm very excited. So yeah, I think we're gonna get to it. Yeah, 13th, not really the best pick. You know, we're not all the way at the end, but we're not all the way in the front. So, yeah, it was a little bit rough at first. One thing I really wanted, which was the Shifus, but I knew I wasn't gonna get, because those went really fast, especially since Gmaxes were allowed. But one thing I did really want, really want, was Zero Aura. I've been trying to get that Pokemon since its released last gen. I've still not been able to draft it for any draft league. My ear is itchy. Sorry, you guys. There we go. And obviously it didn't get to me. I think it got drafted like 2 picks before me. I was really hyped because I was like, yeah, people are gonna get Urshifu, they're gonna get things like Aegislash, Melmetal, all the stuff, Melmons. So Rude we threw in there because we were able to get that bred through the fast process. But yeah, it unfortunately did not get to me. And it was the one Pokemon I really wanted. So kind of left me scrambling at what I wanted to get. And I went with a pick that I've never used before, so that's what I kind of went for it. But it's also kind of fill all kind of role where the Pokemon could be pretty much anything I kind of want, and that's going to be Jirachi. Oh yeah, we're on Showdown, boys. We're on Showdown. Um, but I went on and drafted Jirachi, just because I didn't know what I wanted yet. I didn't know, there's nothing in Tier 1 I really wanted that I can make a solid plan with. So Jirachi is a type of Pokemon where no matter what, it's gonna fill in any kind of type of role I want. It's base 100 mythical, so it can fill any role basically, right? It's a stealth rocker if I want it to be a stealth rocker, physical sweeper, special sweeper, banded specs. It could be a wall. The typing is amazing with steel and psychic. So it's starting off my my steel dragon fairy core. But I just felt like, yeah, it can fit in almost any role, right? It could kind of do whatever I want. Its moveset is freaking wild. I mean, you have so much coverage. Aura Sphere. You'll have Drain Punch as well if you want to be physical. You have Draco Meteor for some reason, as well as Dazzling Gleam. It gets Expanding Force now, which might come in handy at some point. Healing Wish, like Magikarp, like this Moonblast, like this has everything in its arsenal. It's an awesome Trick Room / U-turn Pokemon too. Which is great for momentum, plus Wish for Wish support as well. No, I'm really excited to use Jirachi. Never got to use it before, so this is gonna be really exciting. And also, it's really well known for its ability, which is Serene Grace, so that second effects always come in. It says it's just doubled. It's more than doubled. Like, I don't know how many times. I think the most I flinched someone is 8 times in a row by just clicking Scarfed Ironhead with Jirachi on the ladder. So like, it says double. It almost does it. So yeah, super duper excited for that. By the way, I am terrible at nicknames. If you have any nicknames that you want to suggest and throw in there, I will most likely take it, especially if it's funny, kind of witty and stuff like that. So make sure you do comment those down below, because I take maybe about 30 minutes to build a team, and I take about an hour and a half to find nicknames for the Pokemons I want to use. So and most of the time they're not even that good. So yeah, definitely, if you guys have some good nicknames, I will definitely take you up on that. Next up, we have another Pokemon I felt I still didn't know what I wanted. Yeah, I'm kind of on the wheel pick, but not really. And I saw a Pokemon which I thought was going to be drafted, which wasn't. That would pair really well with Jirachi, and that is Rillaboom. Obviously, Rillaboom's well known for its ability Grassy Surge that it gets now to set up grassy terrain. Pairs up really well with Jirachi. Just because that way it limits one of its weaknesses of ground attacks. This also gets a move called Grassy Slide, which makes, in my opinion, this Pokemon really good, which gives it a priority in grassy terrain, which is sets for itself, which is amazing, because it's, it's stab, it's gonna be terrain boosted, it's base 70 power, like that's almost a 140 power move. That's priority from a Rillaboom that has 125 attack. Yeah, this Pokemon, also a Pokemon I've never got to use in drafts. Obviously, it's a bit newer, so there's, that's a good explanation. But 100 HP, 125 attack is amazing offensively. It also has pretty good bulk at 90 defense, and okay at Spadef with 70. But the speed at 85, in my opinion, is really good, especially when you already have priority moves, because I mean that's faster than a lot of things, right? That's Como speed, and I was able to put a lot of work with Como, so I'm really excited for this. It also gets a lot of set moves like Swords Dance and Bulk Up. Its move pool is not the greatest, I'll admit, but it does have knockoff and stuff like that, which is great. It just can't touch flying types, basically. It doesn't have any rock type move, right? If I can type, it doesn't have any rock type moves, it doesn't have any ice type moves, so the only one thing I'll struggle with is flying types. but I was able to patch that pretty easily with the rest of my team. So yeah, that's gonna be Rillaboom. Same thing with nicknames. Keep them comments down below. Comment. I'll definitely take a look at those. But yeah, obviously one pretty glaring weakness here we have between the two is gonna be the fire weakness. So far, both the Pokemons we drafted is weak to fire, and I decided, you know what? Let's do something fun, and I decided to draft Pelipper. Pelipper is obviously going to set up the rain. It's going to be a fire type switch in, but setting up the rain so that way we would take half from fire damage, which is great. So pairs up really well with Jirachi with Rillaboom. Also gives me a U-turn user, but doesn't get U-turn? Okay, this gives me U-turn here. You know, we're gonna have U-turn on Rillaboom, and we're gonna have U-turn on you. So far, all of our 3 Pokemon that we've drafted has momentum, and I think pivoting is gonna be really important with the type of team that I drafted, because as you'll see later on, we'll have a lot of we'll have to make pretty aggressive switch-ins because our team's not the bulkiest, but it's definitely really good offensively. So yeah, this is great. Ability, just drizzle. That's pretty much why people draft this Pokemon, is for the rain. So I really wanted to get this Pokemon for that, but defensively it's also really nice, right? 100 defense with decent special attack at 95, but a Scald that's going to be both rain boosted and stab with a 30% chance to burn, which can chip your opponent afterwards. It's going to be so good. It's going to be really spammable. Unless they have a water absorbmon, which then we can have Rillaboom for, because most of them are either they're obviously water types, but most of them are going to be water ground types like Seismitoad, Gastrodon, etc. And they don't want to take Grassy Slide / Wood Hammer from Rillaboom, especially if it's going to be like Life Orb or Choice Banded. But yeah, that's going to be Pelipper here. It's also going to have Roost and Defog, so we already got removal, which is going to be really great. And then Roost for its own legitimity, which is nice. Always be able to heal up your range setter is going to be great. Next up, I figured, you know what, I'm already halfway there. My foot's already in the door, you know what I mean? I might as well draft Kingdra while I'm here, you know? It's a buy one, get one type of deal where you just get the rain for free, man. But yeah, Kingdra is going to be a decent Pokemon. I feel like the stats, obviously, you wish it had more. I just wish it had 10 more attacks and special attack to have like to bring at 105, because I already prepped for week 1, and it barely gets those 2-hit KOs or Okos even in the rain. But one thing it's really well known for is going to be for Swift Swim. Double its speed stat, where you can invest more maybe in being modest with specs and stuff like that. The move pool that it has, especially because it got Hurricane this generation, is actually not too bad. It does get Draco Meteor and Dragon Pulse, but it also got a big one, which is Flip Turn. Flip Turn is amazing. As you know, I've been talking about momentum all this whole video, you know. So another gonna be another pivot mount, which is great. This mount also gets Dragon Dance, which is great because it gets to boost its attack and defense, and speed. Even in the rain, sometimes you want to run a little bit more speed, so Dragon Dance is definitely going to come in clutch, or agility if you really need that 4x speed. But it can also be a physically offensive Pokemon with Liquidation, Outrage, Waterfall if you want to flinch. But yeah, things like that. I'm really excited. This is the first time that I've ran a rain-based or even a weather-based team that's not monotype in Draft League. Last time I ran a how am I gonna word this? A weather-based team. There we go. A weather-based team was 2 years ago in a monotype league, and I had Sun, and I went all the way to finals, and I got cheated out of it because we never made rules transactions we can make. So someone literally made like when and you can and can't make transactions, because we didn't think about this. This was like the first league we ran. It was me and JB, by the way. And someone made trades literally the week of the finals, so I had to battle Rotom Wash, and yeah, I did not win that game. But I'm really excited for this. I feel like Rain, I mean, this is just 2 Pokemon. It's not like I'm really devoted to Rain. But yeah, I think it's going to be really fun. I'm really excited for it. Next up, I wanted a good Fairy type, so I went with Aromatisse here. I wanted a Pokemon that's kind of slow, that could potentially either set up Trick Room for itself, slash other Pokemon, or reverse Trick Room. My team is pretty fast with the Rain. I'm expecting maybe people to run Trick Room, so that way I wouldn't be outspeeding them, so I do expect that to come in. But yeah, so I have a love-hate relationship with Aromatisse. I think it's a great Pokemon, but I also really don't like it. Not that it's a bad Pokemon, but there's just, you know, when you see something, sometimes you just don't like it for some reason. That's me and Aromatisse. I don't know. It just is what it is. But overall, it's not a bad Pokemon. I mean, it gets things like Healing Bell, which is great for just healing Pokemon in general on the team. Things like Moonblast is pretty nice. Trick Room, like I mentioned. It does get Nasty Plot this gen. I don't know if you got it last gen. But yeah, I'm not gonna read this whole thing. You know what this does. What's great about Aromatisse though is Aroma Veil, where it can't be, you know, taunted or disabled and stuff like that, which is pretty nice. But yeah, this thing's gonna, you know, kind of conclude our Fairy, Steel, Dragon Core, this whole shebang. I mean, I think Fairy types in general are definitely a must, in my opinion, unless you have a good Steel type and you have a way to beat dragons. But I do think it's almost a necessity, in my opinion. I feel like it's important. Some people might disagree, and that's okay. I just and this gen specifically, there's only so many limited amount of Fairy types, so that's why I felt like I wanted to get a good one pretty early on before they start going. That's gonna round up my 5th pick. Next up, I wanted a ground type, but I also wanted another something that could remove hazards. So I went with Sandslash. Sandslash overall, not the best stats, which, you know, is okay, but I feel like it does get its job done. I'm a big fan of Sandslash, personally. I feel like it's a really good low budget ground type. That's just how I feel personally. And obviously, me having rain teams, I gotta expect electric types to come in. I gotta expect it. I mean, it's definitely gonna happen. Rillaboom can only take so much damage, and grassy terrain is good, but it could also hurt me because my opponent's also getting healed, which is not the greatest sometimes. Yeah, so Sandslash, you know, has good attack and defense. That's going to be a really good defense wall. I always compare it to Donphan. I think they are both similar, probably just a little bit less bulky, which is why it's a little bit better low budget wise. But this thing's now gets, so it gets Stealth Rocks, but it also gets Spikes this gen, which is going to be really good for me to chip down my opponent's team, especially if they have electric types and stuff like that. They're not going to want to switch in this too often. It also gets Sand Rush in case I have to battle a Sand team for some reason. Gets that +2 speed, which is going to be really great. Rapid Spin got buffed this gen, so it would get +1 speed if it goes for Rapid Spin, plus 100 base power. Earthquake is not going to feel too good. You know, this is a good Pokemon to bring. I could bring both defensively or offensively, which is great. Just wish I had more Spit F. But yeah, that's going to be Sandslash here. Next up, so I saw that I had a lot of physically defensive Pokemon, but not a lot of specially defensive Pokemon, and also really wanted to utilize the grassy terrain that I was able to draft pretty early on, so I went with Hitmonlee. Also, first time I'm using a terrain-based team, so I was just, you know, putting everything in my bag. All my eggs are in a single basket. Yes, I feel like this brings versatility to my team, because Kingdra is going to be more likely more specially oriented because of its move pool is a little bit wider, whereas Hitmonlee here, being a physically offensive threat with Burden, you know, this thing doesn't mess around. Even if it's like, even not on Burden, base 120 high jump kick doesn't feel good. especially when you pair it with Reckless here, which would it's basically a it's not a life bar boost. It's a little bit more less than a life bar. It's an expert belt boost. There we go. Just make sure I'm right. It is. Cool. It's an expert belt boost, which, I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot at first, but it's also stab, and it's high jump kick. Like, that thing hurts. It's base 130 base power. Like, it's not gonna feel good. Plus, it has 110 SPDF as well, so it's, you know, I won't call it a SPDF wall, but it's some pretty good built-in bulk that we have here. Being able to boost its speed thanks to Unburden, and the grassy seed that I can mix in with the grassy terrain. This makes it a really good threat. Really excited. First time I'm running him only. I think this really made my team much more of a threat than what it was before. Rain is great, but having something else to threaten your opponent, it's gonna be really, it's really good in my opinion. Yeah, super excited for Hitmonlee. Next up, I wanted a good psychic switch in to kind of pair off with Hitmonlee. I also wanted to get T-Spikes. So you know where I'm going with this. We drafted Drapion again. It's been putting so much work in the BBR with, you know, getting the Fill Stinger, almost mini sweep there. Plus just its overall bulk, it's great, and it has a really good speed stat of 95, not quite 100, but it's still fast enough to outspeed most threats. It makes a great taunter in my opinion. I think it's one of the better taunter here I think it's the only taunter I drafted. If wait, do you get taunt? You do get taunt. Okay, cool. It's the fastest taunter I do have. Wait, do you get taunt? No. Okay, cool. You don't get taunt. Perfect. But yeah, I think it's a great taunter, but it also gets toxic spikes, which is great. Nope, that's not what I was looking for. There it is. Yeah, T-Spikes is great. So now we have Stealth Rock, Spikes, and T-Spikes. We have all the possible hazards. Unless you're thinking about like G-Maxes and stuff like that, which is maybe something we have, potentially. We did save our G-Max till the end, because a lot of people drafted the G-Max early on. So the few people that didn't, we were just like, you know what, if you don't take mine, I won't take yours, you know? It's like that communist thinking, right? Don't think that's how communism works. Anyways, yeah, pretty good move pool. You guys know what this does. If you don't, go watch my BBR draft analysis. I'll go in detail on that. Next up, when I was talking to JB, and I think I was talking to Shay as well, I told him I want Luxray. I really want that Pokemon. If I don't get it, I'm gonna be really upset, and I was really upset that I didn't get it, but that's okay. And I told him if I don't get Zeraora, I'm getting Luxray instead, because Luxray is my favorite Pokemon. As you can tell, it's my favorite Pokemon, like that Pokemon for a while now. And I was like, you know what, if I don't get it, I was kind of, you know, talking out of my ass, because I really thought I was gonna get really thought I was gonna get Zeraora, and I didn't. And you know, I have to honor my word. I had to. So we got Luxray, which, you know, its stats is not the best. I just wish it was base 110 speed. That's just me. It's not the worst either. 120 attack is really great. 95 special attack can be used if you really need to. But this makes a great offensive electric type that could threaten. Jesus, words are so tough. You know, water types, like the water absorbed ones that we talked about and stuff like that. Plus, this move was actually pretty good. It does get Ice Fang, which is great for ground types, which not a lot of other Pokemons do. Plus, its abilities that it has are both really good with Intimidate and Guts. Going for a Intimidate drop or a Guts boosted wall charge is not gonna feel good, let me tell you. Yeah, just wish this Pokemon was a little bit faster, which is unfortunate. But it does also get Volt Switch, which is amazing because more momentum. Who doesn't like that? But yeah, that's gonna be Luxray. Super excited to draft this. I've been talking about drafting Luxray for a long time now, and I'm glad I finally pulled the plug on that because, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be putting in a lot of work. I actually went to top 100 on the ladder with the Luxray team, so yeah, really excited for that. And then our last Pokemon that's not gonna be a Gmax. I wanted something that's above 100 speed because yes, I do have Rain and I do have Unburn, which is great for speed, but I wanted something that's a little bit faster. That way I'm not too reliant on the grassy seed shenanigans and the rain and stuff like that. So I went with Taurus. Taurus is base 110. It's another Intimidate Pokemon, so we can shuffle those Intimidate together, which is great. They don't share any weaknesses, which I prefer to do. But it also is a normal type, so its moveset is wild. It has close combat this gen, but things like Earthquake, Iron Head, Outrage, Rock Slide has so many moves it gets access to. Plus it has 100 base attack, which is going to be pretty nice. And I do think it gets, yep, Sheer Force here. So Sheer Force, Life Orb. This is Baby Darm right there. I wouldn't go that far, but definitely a Pokemon that's gonna be a threat. And I'm really excited for this pick. It's also the first time I've used a Taurus, I believe. I was debating between this and Persian. I went with Taurus instead to just keep up the offensive pressure. But yeah, super excited for this pick. And lastly, for my Gmax, I don't think, you know, most of you guys know what it is. It's not much of a surprise, right? We went with Gmax Dreadnought. Gonna finish off our Rain core here. We have a specially offensive-ish water type that's gonna be you know, taking from advantage from the Rain with Kingdom. Wanted to get a physically offensive one. I was debating to get Barraskewda as well, but the points weren't really allowing me to, so I just went with Gmax right now. You know, getting that boost is gonna be so good in HP because it's not, you know, it doesn't, sometimes it needs a little bit more that oomph, you know, needs a little bit more base power to get kills and stuff like that. So getting that Gmax is going to be really great because all moves are going to be powered to 140, which is awesome. Unfortunately, can't set its own Rain, which is, in my opinion, why Dreadnought is not that great of a Gmax. But even outside of being, outside of that, being able to set your own rocks is going to be, cool because I forgot what the name of it is. That's fine. But yeah, it's water type move sets rocks for some reason, which is kind of weird. I don't understand why they didn't do it on the rock based move, but whatever. But also being able to potentially set sand up using its stab rock type move for then later on edge slash for sand slash to come on in and get the sand rush boost could be great. Yeah, I mean, it's the first time I'm using this Pokemon. I'm really excited. Base 115 attack is going to be really good, especially in the rain. So it's going to be stab, it's going to be rain boosted, it's going to be hitting like a truck, and I'm super duper excited for it. But yeah, that's going to be rounding up our draft analysis here for the IBL Season 8. I hope you guys are excited as I am. Like I mentioned, make sure to like down below, subscribe, do all that kind of stuff. The BBR has been doing really good support wise. You guys seem to be enjoying it, which makes me really appreciative of that. I hope that this season also grabs your attention. You guys are going to be enjoying that as well. But yeah, we're going to be playing JB for the week 1, and his team is stacked, man. It's gonna be a hard game. I'm not excited for it at all, but I also am because it's JB. It's one of my best friend on the internet here, so super pumped for that. But yeah, I will see you guys next week for that video. Talk to you guys later. Bye bye.